Well, good morning and welcome back. Now we start the second discussion panel of the day, investment funds and their contribution to the growth of Spanish companies. Let me give the floor now to my colleague, Aida Prados, Director of Studio Comunicación. Aida, yours is the floor.
Thank you, Juan. Welcome and thank you for joining us on this panel. Together with me, I have some of the largest and more influential international and national investors. We have with us Luis Mejías, which is CEO of BlackRock for Spain. We have Juan Luis Ramírez, which is founding partner of Portobello. Ángela Pérez, which is President and CEO of Cofides. Jaime Siles, Executive Director of IFM Investors. Davide Vidotto, who is Managing Director for Private Equity at Bain Capital. So together, they have more than 100 billion euros invested in our economy. This panel will explore the role of investment funds in the Spanish economy and in the growth, transformation, and consolidation of our companies. Let me start with our first question to our panelists. In a world that is increasingly shaped by geopolitical transformation, how do you see Spain today as an investment destination, and what role can investment funds play in the development of our economy, the capital markets, and our companies?
Should I start?
Yes, please, Luis.
Okay, so thank you very much, Aida. Thank you very much for inviting me on behalf of BlackRock. It's a pleasure, and I'm honored. So basically the question, it's split into question, how do we see Spain, and how can we do from the investment fund to support the economy? So regarding the first one, it's very clear. We are very positive on Spain. Actually, it's one of our preferred investment destination worldwide. It's one of the top three. Obviously, within the European market is the first one. And there are several reasons behind. Basically, the main one is the macroeconomic framework that is supporting our economy. So I won't go into detail, but just a few numbers, just to remember. We ended up last year with a GDP almost at 3%. We're expecting above 2% for this and the next years. So very strong economic growth. Inflation is around 3%, 2.9%. We think that both energy prices and that wages are going to reduce over the next month. It's not going to be difficult to see inflation heading towards 2%. Unemployment, 10.4%. We expect maybe even on 2026 to see that number going below 10%. This is the lowest unemployment rate since 2007. And if we look at the fiscal policy, well, the deficit is roughly above 2%. We're going to see the ratio of debt to GDP going down below 100. And that translates into a yield curve pretty stable, 10-year bond at 325, and the credit spread of our country is around 45 basis points. That is the best example of the confidence that the economy and the credit spread is showing, reflecting the situation in Spain. So all this has been translated in excellent performance in our stock market. So 50% in a year. I think it's one of the best performing. It is one of the best performing stock markets in the world, and this is tremendously important. And I come back in a minute of why. Aside of the excellent return that we are having, right? Some people is starting to say that is it expensive at these prices after an appreciation of 50%. The stock market is quoting at around 13 times price earning ratio, if we want to measure in terms of how expensive it is. That's basically the average that we have had over the last 20 years. So basically we are coming from a very low base. We've done a catch up, but relatively compared to other economies, we are not expensive, at least that's what we believe. And the earning growth in the company, I mean, we're seeing in every quarter keeps in very strong. So basically, this is the main reason why we've been very positive on Spain, not now, since a few years already. And We've increased our bet for the Spanish market, and I'll come back in a minute on that as well. And the reason why I was saying that it's so important that we had that 50% appreciation, aside of the good performance to our investors, is that Spain, it's in the spot right now. So in an investment committee, everybody's asking, what's happening in Spain? Even if they were not invested, it's something that it's under the radar now because of the excellent performance that we had last year. So coming to the second question, investment funds. All the economies needs to finance themselves, right? Via equity, debt, private, public. And this is where the importance of the investment funds it's vital, and it's getting more and more important over the years. There's a clear process of disintermediation on the financial world. So the private investment coming from funds, it's growing and growing every year. We know that. From BlackRock, we strongly believe on the benefits of the capital markets for our economies and our countries. Actually, we call the virtuous circle of the capital markets, because on one hand, we gather money from our clients and we give them return, right? To achieve their financial objective. We help them achieve their financial objective, whether they are saving for retirement, saving to buy whatever. Everybody's got a dream, right? Something that you want to buy. So on one hand, we are helping investors to achieve their financial objectives by giving them returns. But on the other hand, and this is the other side of the coin, all that money is coming back into the economy in the shape of productive investments. That's generating growth, that's generating wealth, that's generating jobs, and that's generating prosperity to the country. That's why we believe that the more we grow the financial market, the better for the economy, the better for the country, the better for all of us. And in this sense, we still have homework to do. The gap on the financial markets between Europe and America is not only big, but it's growing. So that gap is bigger and bigger, especially over the last 20 years. The American or the US capital market has grown 6 times the European one. And when we come to Spain, it's even lower. So in Spain, just 28% of the individuals, of the adults, invest directly or indirectly in stocks. That number in Europe is 34%. That same number in the US is around 65%. So we need to close that gap, right? And maybe just to finish, we are committed to both. The investment in the Spanish economy and the growth of our capital markets. Just sharing 2 numbers. As of today, the amount of money that we manage on behalf of Spanish clients, it's 50 billion euros. The amount of money that BlackRock invests in the country, out of all the funds and ETF of BlackRock in the world, has, for the first time in 2025, reached the amount of almost 100 billion. So we are net importers of capital into our economy on almost 50 billion. And that's our commitment, both giving return and performance to our clients, but also keep investing in the Spanish economy.
Thank you, Luis. Juan Luis, what's Portobello's view?
So, good morning. Thank you for inviting us. So now, given that we are fundraising, I don't want to sound too optimistic, but in reality, I think that for the first time, Spain is attracting a lot of interest from international investors now that we are visiting investors everywhere in our buyout fund 5 that we are currently raising, and we try to make very simple ideas. No, you've explained about the macro. What we say is that we have a very good market on the macro side, good growth, much bigger than in the rest of Europe, fueled by a lot of people coming to live in Spain. 10 million people in the last years. This is 2 Denmarks now that we are hearing from Denmark every day. 100 million people coming across every year. So this means a lot of food, a lot of services, a lot of healthcare, good energy prices, good labor market. So here you find people to work at competitive prices, which means that all this reshoring effect that we are sensing in many of our companies, producing things that time ago were produced Far East, on the Far East, far from the OMs in Europe. So there are, the minister was saying last night, the same, there is a lot of industrial growth in Spain because of this, good energy prices, good labor market, good productivity. But this is on the macro side. But in the private markets, our métier, we always say that Spain is a paradise for private equity. So you find what you need, which is first, a lot of companies, family-owned. So it's more than 60% of the GDP are small and medium-sized enterprises in Spain. Normally family-owned, with a lot of work to do to help those families to be first bigger, because we have, which is another beauty of the market, very fragmented sectors, small companies, so a great consolidation prospect if you select, as we like doing, the leading platform in that niche or that sector, and you help that company to grow through buy and build, buying the second, the third, creating a bigger dimension for those companies. So, and then once they have the ability to compete because they have this better dimension, then going international. Mm-hmm. Many of these families are happy with the local markets, which are sound, but they might be very competitive going abroad and pushing international expansion, which is at the end what we do. So our main means of value is to consolidation of sectors through buy and build, and then international expansion with those companies. And this is something that doesn't happen in other countries, no? Probably in the UK or in France, less than 30% are these kind of companies, while in Spain there is a lot. And a lot of work to finally achieve with these family-owned companies much competitive and bigger companies that could succeed outside as well. No?
Angela, what's Cofidis' view?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share our views on this and to be with these very extraordinary, talented colleagues in this conversation. We are a public-owned company that manages around 6 billion of resources from the state with different mandates, and we've seen in our activity this year the importance of the attraction that Spain is causing in the international market, because we have more than double our activity this year. We have committed double of resources. Now we have 4 billion of committed resources. In 2024, we finished with 2 billion. So the fact that we are increasing so much our activity and is always linked of co-investment with private sector means that there is attraction and interest for the economy and for investing in Spain. I'm not going to repeat what has been already said of what are the major competitive advantages that Spain have, but I would like to stress two factors, if I may do. The first one is the human capital. Traditionally, Spain was competing in human capital because of lower prices of remuneration, etc. In this moment, I think we are competing in talent, and with that, we have a very diversified relationship with partners, from banks to private investors, sovereign wealth funds, institutional investors, and corporates. And something that I always have in the conversations as a factor which is stressed by our partners is the quality of the Spanish professionals, which is not only the good education that we have from our universities and from our school, but it's also the attitude to work. I think we are I think with the Spanish professionals have get this combination of good technical background, but creativity, enthusiasm, passion, commitment, what we do. And at the end of the day, this is very, very important when you are trying to provide this complementary factor to an international investor that is coming to Spain. Come here and find people which is trustable and delivers. So that's one of the things. The other factor I strongly believe as a person which is leading in this moment a public-owned company is the government activity. In the last years, the Spanish government has launched to the market very strong signals of what is the model of the economy that Spain wants to become. And before there has been resources from Europe, which is also that we have to take in consideration, there are three major areas where the focus has been put, which is the green transition, the digital transition, and technology, which has meant first a transformation on flexibility of our environment, legal environment, and the capacity of the investors to come here and do business, but also resources. And this is coming back to what Cofidis is doing with other public agencies that you probably know, SED, CEDETI, ICO, CESCE. There is a very close follow-up in this moment of all the government instruments to really support the private sector initiative to make things easier, accelerate processes, and in those cases what we have seen, for example, we were talking before about fundraising, I feel that there is some difficulties in this moment of, not in Spain, but in general in the fund management industry. The public institutional investors are playing a very important role as complementing, but also in some cases becoming the first in the class, the ones that are becoming the catalyzers or the anchor investors, particularly on funds which are more in an early stage in terms of experience of the teams, more specialized in terms of a sector. We see quite a lot of new, very specialized funds. We need a very high level of technical knowledge and are not that appealing or easy to understand by regular investors. And in those cases, I think that people, companies like Cofidis can fill the gap with a very strong impact on the rest of the market.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jaime, what's IFM investors' view on Spain as an investment destination?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ada, for having us. So, I mean, we are long-term investors, you know. So my colleagues here have given us a lot of like short-term data. So what we look is more at like long-term trends and facts. So the three ones I like to highlight is first, there is a lot of political stability, despite what people feel. Like we compare ourselves, Spain, to other countries in Europe. So I think the beauty of Spain is it really, there is like a common belief in the European project. So having the European Union framework and having the European Central Bank and having the hard currency has given Spain a lot of stability. And the fact that there is no political party in the Congress that challenges that gives us like a lot of belief in the long-term stability of the country, despite the short-term bumps. And the second one is that Spain is like super open to foreign money. Again, like there are some decrease and the foreign direct investment process is not sometimes as efficient as people would like, but it is a new reality in the world that governments want to control what kind of money comes into the country and you just need to live with it. But within that context, like you don't see any other country in Europe where actually foreign funds are shareholders in such strategic companies. Like deals you can see not just from IFM, but from other funds that we've done in Spain. You couldn't see them in France, Italy, Germany. Like and part of it is because also in those countries, they have their own savings. So that's the third beauty. And this is more like, it's not the beauty of the country, but it is a beauty for foreign investors is there are no private savings in Spain. Most of the savings, the retail savings are invested in real estate, but there is, I mean, Cofidis is doing a great work, but it is not like as big as a public pension fund as it should be, or a sovereign fund. There are no large financial institutions in Spain, so it is really capital scarce, which gives a lot of opportunities. So what we've worked a lot as IFM is really to change the mindset of how funds are perceived in Spain. When we started investing here around 8 years ago, right now Spain is our third largest country by exposure. We've invested more than 10 billion. 8 years ago, we hadn't invested anything, and when we started investing, we were very surprised by the negative perception that the investment funds had in Spain. So we've done a lot of pedagogical work to try to make our companies and the administration understand like the different type of funds. And we believe that culturally, nowadays, like funds are perceived totally differently. Like as an example, we did a deal in July. We bought a small family company focused on airport components leasing, 150 employees. When we went there, they were really excited about having like an investment fund as a new shareholders because we saw us as an opportunity to grow, to support them. 5 years ago, to be honest, I think would have had the unions like at the door, like really asking us very tough questions, etc. So I think that misperception has changed. And the other like structural advantage of Spain to me is the access to Latin America. So one of the things we like to invest on is portfolio like platforms. We struggle to invest directly into some Latin American countries because maybe the companies are not big enough, because there is corruption risk. Doing it through Spanish companies, we've done a lot through Aqualia, our CEO is here today. We do it through Naturgy, Aleatica. We'll do it through AirRail. Actually gives us a lot of comfort from a reputational perspective and from a business standards perspective, yet you get the same economic exposure. So I think the main advantage of Spain vis-a-vis other countries in Europe is having that basic backyard, which no one else has. And it is also, the other advantage is like, although the demographics in Spain are really bad, that's a fact. We are a very old economy and no children and no public project to actually change that. We have access to a pretty large pool of resources, of human resources, which is Latin America, which shares the same values and the same language, and which reduces a lot the social tension. And that, if you compare that again to France, to Italy, to Germany, like social peace is super important for our companies to excel, and that's something we find in the country.
Thank you, Jaime. Davide, what's Bain Capital's view?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us today, and good morning, everyone. Look, we see Spain as a very attractive investment destination. I think the reasons have been touched on by my colleagues on stage. First of all, in turbulent economic times like the ones we live in, Spain stands out as one of the best performing economies in the Eurozone. You have structurally sound GDP growth, you have debt levels largely under control, you have a sound plan of investment in infrastructure. Secondly, our experience is that this is a very healthy labor market with deep talent pools. And we see that firsthand in our investment, for instance, in ITP Aero, which is our largest investment in Spain, an aerospace engine component company headquartered in Bilbao. We have 3,500 employees in Spain, and a large portion of those are highly skilled engineers that are really best in class when compared to the global stage. And third, I think, especially for private equity, it comes down to market structure. This is an economy where there is still a very large number of mid to large size companies which are privately owned or family owned. I think this creates a compelling opportunity for investors like ourselves to partner with these firms, bringing not only financial resources, but also hands-on support, best-in-class kind of expertise and international networks to help them become more efficient, to help them scale quickly, to help them grow internationally. And I think what this means for the economy is ultimately healthier businesses trickle down to more productivity, more growth, and better employment for the broader economy.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's speak now a little bit about where global capital is actually being deployed. From BlackRock's global perspective, which sectors in Spain are attractive more institutional capital today, and what are the fundamentals? I'm going to ask you to keep it brief because we only have 20 minutes left.
Yeah. So the reasons why Spain have been already discussed. If we come specifically into sectors, and I'm going to answer with a long-term view, I'm not doing a forecast for 2026, right? Definitely financial sector. They suffered a lot when rates went down. Over the last 2 or 3 years, it's been massive, the recovery. There was a big gap, undervaluation versus especially US banks. And we think and we believe they're going to still be making a lot of money. Second one, defense. Don't have to explain why. This is a common European theme, and obviously we're going to be part of it. The third one, and we touched based on that, it's healthcare. It's true, our situation in Spain, it's not easy in terms of demography. We're an aging population, which is going to demand more and more this type of services. And those companies that serve that sector are going to benefit from it. And the last one, and we believe is one of the most important ones, it's all that relates to infrastructure and utilities, mainly due to 2.5 things. The first one is what is happening around AI. And we believe that most of the conversations around AI are moving around whether the top 7 stocks in the USA are expensive or not. We're not going to have an opinion on that today. We're talking about what is going to be built over the next 3 to 5 years around the infrastructure that the AI is going to need. So there's currently a race to deploy money, to deploy what is going to be needed to serve what is coming with AI for the next decades to come. The amount of money that is going to be invested, whatever happens in 20 years, 30 years, whether the AI is going to give us more productivity, less productivity, aside of all that, the amount of money that is going to be invested in the next 3 years into AI infrastructure, it's something that we've never seen before. The second one, it's energy transition. A similar situation, also linked to the first one, but very important. Again, the amount of money that is going to be invested, and it's being invested today, in decarbonization and energy transition is massive, and that's going to continue. And that gives us a lot of opportunities to generate stable, long-term, good returns. And the last one is infrastructure in the traditional sense, right? All this and the world where we are moving to is going to need massive investments into traditional infrastructures, not only what we believe can be airports, roads, trains, and so on, but think about all that is going to be needed regarding the cloud, regarding networks, regarding all the support that is going to be needed for what I mentioned before. All this is going to bring also a lot of innovation. So the amount of money that is, and it's going to be invested in innovation in those 2 sectors, is also going to be then spread out to the other sectors. So basically, this is in a nutshell what we believe are going to be the best performing ones.
Okay, let's speak about the way that investment funds are investing and will continue to invest in these sectors. So since the pandemic, there are longer investment cycles and investors are more involved in the companies. So David, I would like to ask you what effects is this new model of investing on the management, ambition and growth of the companies?
Yeah. No, look, I think we would agree, and I would agree with what you're saying. I think over the last 5 years, we've experienced unprecedented geopolitical, economic volatility and rapid technology shifts that are really reshaping industries, impacting growth outlooks, impacting valuations. So our job has become harder over this period of time. And I think this has prompted investors to think hard about how do we generate returns for our investors. And I think we're doing that in 2 ways. One is by putting more focus on a hands-on strategic approach that emphasizes partnering with management to drive real value creation initiatives. And secondly, we're also seeing a shift towards more flexible and patient investment horizons, which allow us to help build greater businesses across economic cycles, but also to invest behind those capabilities and infrastructure, which are, may take time to develop, but are critical to be competitive on a more complex global stage. And I think, I would like to bring it to life with one example, which I think is quite fitting, which is, again, our investment in ITP Aero. There we partnered with management in 2022, and we had a thesis that revolved around growing with international customers, achieving best-in-class operational efficiency, investing in capacity expansion and research and development. And 3 years later, this has been a success story for us so far. We more than tripled earnings. We've hired more than 1,000 employees in Spain. We invested more than 300 million euros in research and development. And this, of course, creates positive outcomes not only for ITP and its people, but also for the broader ecosystem around the company, including 1,000 suppliers that we have in Spain. And I think it is also a good example of what a longer-term investment horizon means, right? We've been pretty public that we see this as an investment to 2030. And I think especially in an industry like aerospace and defense, where investment cycles, development cycles are extremely long, this is crucial because it allows us to invest behind initiatives and capabilities that may not generate returns for us over the next 2-3 years, but are really critical to set the company up for success for the next decade and beyond.
Thank you. Building on the importance of long-term investment and stability, how does IFM's open-ended character help companies to grow and scale internationally?
So basically, because we don't have, as most of the funds are close-ended, so just for the benefit of everyone, they have to buy and at some point sell. With IFM, we manage an open-ended fund. So we are raising money all the time, and we don't have any requirements to sell. So when you sit in front of a management team or of a partner of a government, and you explain them that you are going to be around probably for the next 100 years, that changes a lot, the tone of the discussion. So usually and that's part of what I was explaining before of the amount of time I have dedicated to actually explain everyone the difference between not just IFM, but then maybe the new kind of long-term capital that's coming to Europe vis-a-vis the old types of private equity funds. So when you sit in front of a management team and you talk about a 10, 20-year business plan, about long-term incentives not based on maximization of proceeds, but actually of total value creation through growth in EBITDA and accretive capex. When you talk to a government and they tell you, we want you to stay at least for 5 years, and you say, that's fine, we'll stay for 55 if you want, that's not an issue. And when you talk to partners and you tell them that you're going to be next to them and you're not going to create to them a situation in 5 years where you need to exit, or you're not going to look at capex in a certain way or cash flows in a certain way, that changes a lot. So actually that opens a lot of discussions to us. So what we are living now is that many founders, corporates, conglomerates, or even the Spanish government does call us to take a look at situations that are very, very specific, very strategic, and very sensitive, because they understand and they believe our model. So, but that has also its own responsibility with it. So we need to deliver. I mean, everything is very public these days. So always when I go and meet someone, I always tell them, just call the management teams of our companies, or call the unions, or call the head of HR. Ask them how many people we fire. No one. We create jobs, and we try to create welfare, because that's at the heart of our heritage. We're also trying to be very disciplined in the type of deals we do. There is a lot of hype with data centers now. It was renewables 4 years ago, fiber. We try to stay away of those moments. So we like renewables, but we didn't like them 4 years ago. We like them in 1 year because we'll see a lot of bankruptcies. We don't like data centers today. It's super crowded. We like it in 4 years once the market has corrected. So it's not about the asset class, but about timing the investment cycle. And we really are very disciplined on that, and we try to keep up with it.
Mm-hmm. Let's also speak about long-term capital in Spain's mid-market, Juan Luis. Many Spanish companies are family-owned, you said that before, small, and they also operate in fragmented sectors. So how can long-term investors like Portobello drive organic growth and sector consolidation also to build more competitive Spanish companies?
Well, as I was saying, this is a country for doing a lot of those deals. No? We like families, we like entrepreneurs. So the first thing is to get to know them well. It takes time. So probably we are now raising deals in 5 years' time to get to know well those families. First is to understand whether they want to sell control or not. So we have 2 different strategies, one for structural minorities, for those investors that are probably convinced to sell in the future, but they appreciate the help that we can provide. And now that the price is not easy to fix with all what we have seen in these years of our uncertainties, logistic problems, raw material increases, pass-throughs of costs, wars, energy problems. There were many investors, many families that would prefer to sell a stake to get our help. And price is always a second problem in this kind of deals because you can always adjust them as it goes in the future, with earnouts or whatever. So this is, and we do the same when we buy control. More than 51% of those same middle market companies. Our target is in between 10 million EBITDA and 50 million EBITDA companies, those that could lead that consolidation that in Spain, as I was saying before, is fantastic. You can create a lot of value. So, but many times those families remain with us, and even running the show. We are not the kind of investor that like to change everything. On the contrary, if we don't find in the company somebody that is already in and that could lead with us, we wouldn't invest, because it's another layer of risk if you need to change everything. It's true that we reinforce the management. If you want to go internationally, you need perhaps people that was not inside before. If you want to do add-ons, perhaps you need an M&A internal team. So this is something that we reinforce always. And it's always easier to reinforce the management and attract talent when there are institutional investors. So this is something that creates a lot of value. We put our best practices. We are in many companies, in many sectors, so we can advise them to do things that perhaps they wouldn't have considered. Normally, the entrepreneur is very lonely, so whenever there is somebody in a board or in the company that they can share thoughts, it's always easier. So we put the best practices, working capital efficiencies, we improve the financing, we help them with the buy and build, with the integration of those companies, ultimately for going international. So, and this creates a lot of value to those companies. And this is pretty much what we do, both when we buy minority with these same families and when we buy control. And investors appreciate that in Spain, because another thing, I'm seeing here very good competitors, but we are not that many buying companies in Spain in private equity compared to France. I always say that there are more teams in France starting with A than in the whole Spain and Portugal. So this means that prices are pretty much available, better, and whenever you put on the radar those bigger and more international and more diversified and better companies, you get the attraction of the future buyers, which typically are the big funds that are able to pay a higher price, and this is one of the things that we benefit from.
Thank you. So recently, the European Investment Bank published that Spanish companies are more optimistic than their European peers. So they invest more in capacity, they are faster AI adoption, but also they find fewer financing constraints. So, Angela, I'd like to ask you, how does this confidence strengthen Spain's competitiveness, and what message does this send to international investors?
Well, I think that we have already somehow answered these questions on the different interventions, speaking about the different advantages or value proposal that the country offers to the investors, but also to the incumbents. And these numbers are a reflection, and I mentioned before the results of the activity in 2025 of Cofides, that this is a reality. I mean, it's more than just a perception; it's a reality, and we have the numbers, and the confidence of the companies plus investors is basically because the fundamentals of the economy remains. I'm sure that today we will have a fantastic overview of what is going to happen in this year from the Ministry of Economy, Ministro Cuerpo, who will explain us, but the first data that we have of the expectations of the growth for 2026 are above what was expected before. So to me, I think that the challenge that we have collectively is to take advantage of the situation that we have. It is true that it is happening so difficult things in our environment that is complicated to make very long-term plans. I don't know how you guys manage your strategic plans. I look at mine every single day. But it's true that we have many good things. We have good companies, we have attention, we have investors, we have a good macroeconomic environment, and we are better than our competitors. So that should be the capacity of taking advantage. And it was mentioned before that Spain is a bridge to Latin America. I would say that Spain is a bridge to many other things. It's a bridge also to Europe, obviously, but it's also a bridge to Africa, which is very closed, and it's a continent that is going to create new opportunities in the future. I know that for some of the institutional investors, it's a complicated market because of the risk perception, but that's one of the things that the public investors like us and our colleagues are for many years been looking at and trying to, with also the support of the new instruments from the European Union, to erase a little bit the risk and provide the risking solutions. I would not like to finish my intervention if you give me just a minute to say that in addition to our activity as investors through funds, Cofidis is very much focused on direct investment. So like 60% of, for example, of our FOCO fund, which is our fund for Spain for the strategic sector that we co-invest with international investors, we aim that by end of the year that all the fund will be allocated, will be 40% committed through funds, 60% through direct investment. So now that I have companies and investors here in the room, I would like to encourage you to come to us if you need additional investment. And that's something, for example, that we negotiate with our fund managers, that we want to be an LP, but we also would like to be co-investors if necessary to the opportunities. So we are a trustable and long-term investor, and we have the both options. And also, and I finish with this comment, we pretend to become also a promoter of some issues that are not that much lately on some conversation, which is commitment with society. We are now talking more on impact than sustainability. For us, sustainability remains on the risk analysis and do not significant harm to the environment or the society, but we would like that we also become a trigger to make the investment, the private investment, committed with the environment, but also with the society. I think it's complicated, but definitely for a public investor, not just to justify the presence in an investment for the economic impact, even employment creation. It has to be quality employment creation, but also to try to help to solve all the challenges that our societies have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We only have time for one more question. I'd like to ask the international funds, what's their view, what's your view on what global trends will impact the Spanish economy in the next few years, and what opportunities will it create? If we can keep it to less than 1 minute, that'd be great. Luis?
Right, so in a nutshell, in a minute, some of it I just commented before. We talk about the very long trends, and we call it the mega forces. So basically, this is what is going to shape not only the Spanish economy, but we believe the whole world. So basically, those are 5 which we are following. The first one is the geopolitical fragmentation. We've been talking about this over the last 3 years, but this is speeding up. And again, no need to explain. The second one is the disruption of the AI and the consequences that it's going to bring. The third one is decarbonization, so energy transition, as I mentioned before as well. It's going to have a huge impact. The fourth one is demographics. What is happening in Spain, it's not only something that is happening here. I mean, either the developed countries have an aging problem, or the emerging have a young population. So we're seeing that this is happening everywhere, and this is going to bring winners and losers in terms of growth. And the last one is related to capital markets and the financial sector. We're seeing a constant growth of the capital markets and the implication that this will bring in terms of, as I mentioned before, decentralization and disintermediation of the financial sector. We are very positive in Spain. We remain positive, but the key for the next years is the decisions that we take today. I'm talking about corporates, companies, and country regarding those very long-term trends.
Thank you. Jaime, very quickly, is there something that you would like to share?
In the short term, the three things or the three unknowns we see is basically if there is a bubble in the US market, the implications of that bubble bursting and impacting consumption and hence having obviously an impact on global economies. To me, the second biggest one is France. That's the one I'm really worried about. France is very close to becoming like a permanent chaotic country, like deficit out of control, government, and there they have like the Fonds National, which is a real like project that is against the European project. So I think that would create a lot of stability. And the third one is just NATO and what happens with the Greenland situation, with Trump's new foreign policy. My feeling is the European Union is getting very isolated in terms of geopolitics. And if NATO breaks out, like I think it will have a huge impact on the amount of spending we'll need on defense. And to be honest, I don't think Spain can afford even 5% of GDP on defense. I think it will need a lot of foreign funds to fund that, which is by definition against defense investment. So I think those are the three things we are keeping an eye on.
Thank you. Davide, we're out of time, but if there is anything that you'd like to add from Capital very quickly.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the trends that for us are most important are geopolitical heightened risk, macroeconomic uncertainty or volatility, and the rapid technological change that is reshaping industries. I think companies in Spain and in Europe to compete and win in this environment need to combine scale and long-term thinking with maintaining an agility and nimbleness in adapting to changing conditions. And I think private capital and private equity and other institutional investors can really help companies achieve that.
Thank you very much for your insightful contributions. Thank you all for staying with us. And we look forward to seeing you at our next event right now about geopolitics. Thank you.